To be honest, can you leave this house? Huh? I'm telling. A free-riding wife who doesn't contribute financially to leave. The real nuisance in this house is you, after all. So, you want a divorce? Well, yes. I can't believe it. I didn't realize my husband was such an idiot. Okay. As I said that, my sister-in-law jumped for joy. Yay! Now we'll have more money to spend. My name is Michelle, a 34-year-old remote worker. I've been married to Jake for 5 years. I met him through work, and he was very aggressive in his approach, leading us to start dating. A year later, we got married. I became a full-time housewife after our marriage. It was because Jake wanted me to stay home. I wanted to continue working for a bit longer, but Jake insisted strongly, so I quit. However, about 2 years into our marriage, it seems that Jake made a major mistake at his company and had his pay cut. Seemingly realizing the gravity of the situation, he said, "Michelle, could you work part-time or something?" "Okay," I replied, looking for a job that wouldn't interfere with housework. Then I discovered a service connecting clients and freelancers, allowing them to offer and accept jobs. It's common now, but it wasn't so well known back then. Having previously worked as an engineer, I hoped to find web development tasks and indeed found plenty. The pay ranged from $100 to $120 for simple tasks. So I started it casually, planning to do about one job per week. I began lightly and enjoyed getting back to work after a long hiatus, and it served as a great break from house chores. Even working at a relaxed pace, I managed to earn $600 to $800 a month, compensating for Jake's pay cut without impacting our household. That's a lifesaver. I never imagined you'd find such a job. Being appreciated by Jake felt great. I also received compliments from clients, which made me feel valued. Over time, my track record grew, and I started receiving higher paying jobs. A year into my freelancing, I was making $2,000 a month for the same amount of effort. Our life stabilized, and we were able to save quite a bit. Seeing our savings grow improved our mood, and our marital relationship remained strong. Work became fun, and I took on a bit more. My income shot up surprisingly fast, but I shouldn't get ahead of myself. If we have children in the future or face a major illness that prevents us from working, we'll need money. So I maintained our living standard and focused on saving. It had been a while since we had spent peaceful everyday life, but one day my husband said he had something to discuss and called me into the living room. "What's up? Did something happen?" Well, he looked serious. Did he make a mistake at work again? Maybe another pay cut? "I want us to live with my parents." What? My parents are getting old and I'm getting worried. My dad just recently retired too. Being the eldest son, I want to do my duty for them. I see. I was really torn. It's not like I had a bad relationship with my in-laws, but we weren't extremely close either. We would see each other during the festivals or New Year's, a relationship that felt just right. Living together would bring us closer, and I couldn't really imagine how that would turn out. When I was confused, he asked for more. Look, we don't have kids yet, right? My parents are quite lonely, especially not being able to see their grandchildren. We haven't been able to give them that joy. At the very least, living with them and being mental support is essential, I think. He had a point. We had been married for 5 years and still didn't have children. We thought it would naturally happen, but it didn't. And lately, I've been feeling a bit anxious. My sister-in-law and her husband have been married for 3 years and also don't have kids. So my in-laws might genuinely feel lonely. Alright, let's live together. I was swayed by his passionate persuasion and agreed. However, I would later realize that this was the biggest mistake of my life. Jake, Michelle, it's so good of you to come. Come on in. Thank you for having us. The in-laws greeted us warmly. I bought some snacks. Let's all eat together. We sat in the living room enjoying snacks and having a light conversation. Thank you so much for agreeing to live with us, Michelle. No problem at all. As you get older, there are many things to worry about. It's a big help. I felt relieved thinking that living with my in-laws might not be an issue, given their warm treatment towards me. However, just then, the sound of the front door opening caught me off guard. I'm home. Welcome back, Jessica. Oh, Jackie's here? What are you talking about? Didn't I tell you we'd be living together starting today? Alright, haha. Ooh, I want some of those snacks. Wait, why is Jessica here? Plus, the way she said I'm home and the conversation make it sound like she lives here. I discreetly tugged at my husband's sleeve and whispered, "What's going on?" He looked puzzled. Michelle, why are you two whispering? Oh, nothing. When did Jessica move back home? Huh, Jake, didn't you tell her? Ah, I see. I might have forgot to mention it to Michelle. Jessica moved back home 3 months ago after her divorce. You kept quiet about such an important matter? If Jessica's here, isn't there no need for us to live together? By the way, Dad, I scratched the car again. What? Again? He rushed outside to inspect the car, which it seems Jessica had been driving. Apparently, my sister-in-law was borrowing and driving until a while ago. Oh no, another repair. He looked exasperated. At the time, I simply sympathized with the recurring car repairs. But more importantly, there's the issue with Jessica. That night in the bedroom, I confronted my husband. Why didn't you tell me Jessica had divorced and moved back home? Sorry, I forgot to mention it. You don't just forget something like that. It's fine, isn't it? It's more lively with Jessica around. That's not the point. What's your problem then? I was so upset that I buried my face in the blanket. Soon, we both drifted off to sleep. The next morning, while heading out to dispose of the trash, I was shocked to see the family car. It was Mercedes-Benz. That explains their reactions to the scratches Jessica made. They seemed wealthier than I thought, given the modest size of their house. I think it's a general economic level. I wondered if they bought it just for show. This was just the tip of the iceberg. Michelle, would you mind handling the household finances? What? I'm not good with that kind of thing. Is it okay? Sure. Fortunately, the family wasn't too strict about household chores and I had been managing my work well. However, the next month, when I reviewed the expenditures, I was stunned. They were spending way beyond their means. The mother-in-law frequently bought expensive clothes and went out for fancy lunches. The father-in-law was spending a lot on his golf hobby. And then there was Jessica. She never works but buys loads of manga, games, and like my mother-in-law, expensive clothes, and goes out all the time. It seems they are overspending because my father-in-law's retirement fund is quite substantial. We, my husband and I, have vowed to continue our modest lifestyle using them as cautionary example. I did warn my mother-in-law as well. Don't you think you ran out of my father-in-law's retirement fund soon with the way you're spending? She just laughed and said, "That's not going to happen," and brushed off my concern. But as expected, the retirement fund was exhausted in about half a year, and the in-laws were in panic. And to top it off, they blamed me who managed our household budgets. "It's because you don't save properly." No, it's definitely because of how you spend money. What should we do now? We have the car inspection coming up too. My in-laws were devastated. Well, they brought it upon themselves, so I don't feel sorry. Then my husband said something unbelievable. "I'll contribute more to the house. It'll be fine." What? What is he talking about? Their faces lit up immediately. "Is that okay, Jake?" "Yeah, let me do my duty as a son." "We're so glad you turned out to be such a good boy. Our brother is so reliable compared to our unreliable daughter-in-law." Later, when we were alone in our room, I confronted my husband. "Why did you say that?" "Because I am the main breadwinner in this house. I should be the one to say it." "That's not the point. How are we going to manage the money?" "Huh? What are you talking about? We have lots of savings, don't we?" "What? The amount in our joint account is quite substantial, right?" "When did my salary increase? I wasn't aware." "Wait, that's my earnings." "What are you talking about? You're just earning a part-time's wage, aren't you?" "No way, I'm earning way more than that now." "Just don't lie." "Anyway, I'll give them about $4,000 every month." "Wait, that's our emergency savings." "They're in need. What bigger emergency can there be?" Despite my protest, my husband didn't listen, and truly began giving them $4,000 from our joint account every month. To preserve our savings, I put $4,000 into the joint account every month, meaning I was essentially giving the in-laws that money. After about 3 months of this, an unexpected incident occurred. When I returned from the supermarket, my in-laws were waiting for me with stern faces. "What's going on with all of you here?" "Please sit down." I took a seat as instructed. "To put it bluntly, can you leave this house?" "What?" "Your presence just increases the expenses." "What are you talking about?" "A freeloading daughter-in-law who doesn't contribute to the house should leave." Even my in-laws seemed uncomfortable. "We appreciate you doing the household chores, but when we think about the living expenses for you..." "I'm not living luxuriously at all, and I am contributing to the household finances. That's just pocket change, isn't it? Are you on their side too? I'm just stating the facts. The real burden on this household is you. So you're saying you want a divorce? Well, yes. I can't believe this. How could my husband be so thoughtless? Okay, but can you give me some time? Even if I were to leave, I'd need to find a room, pack my belongings, and so on. Well, I guess 5 days should be enough, right? We'll be on vacation during that time, so please leave. Okay. Also, how about no division of assets? What? It's not fair that I have to give you money that I've earned, right? True, it's indeed unfair. Alright, no division of assets then. When I said that, my sister-in-law jumped for joy. Yay, now I'll have more money to spend. I'm looking forward to the trip. It seemed that my husband had already prepared the divorce papers and I was made to sign them on the spot. Since you guys are going on the trip, I'll cover the expenses. Oh really? That helps. The next day, the in-laws went on their vacation. My husband had apparently taken paid leave in advance for the trip. It seems he had planned to kick me out for quite some time. I wasn't sad. On the contrary, I was delighted to get away from those foolish in-laws. And to voluntarily say no division of assets? My husband is such an idiot. I quickly withdrew all the money I had deposited from my earnings from our joint account. I rented an apartment near my parents' house and moved immediately. 5 days later, I received a call from my ex-husband, who was probably back from the trip. Hello? Hey, you stole the money from our joint account, didn't you? What? Stole? Can you not say such things? Stop messing around. The passbook shows it's empty. Well, of course, I've been depositing my earnings into that account. Huh? Stop lying. That money was from my earnings. Why don't you check your own pay slips? Your salary hasn't changed since you got a pay cut. What? If it helps, I'll show you my income statement for this month. I switched it to a video call and showed him the income statement. Wow, $6,000? I earn this much every month, though the one who was putting money in the joint account was me. There's no way your salary alone could hand over $4,000 to your mother and the rest every month, right? I don't believe it. Hey, Michelle, can we reconsider the divorce? What? I finally realized you're the most important to me. You have the guts to say that now. It's just like declaring you only saw me as a cash cow. No, it's not like that. Anyway, the divorce papers are already submitted, so we're strangers now. Do your best to handle your sister's excessive spending, though I doubt you can. With that, I hang up the call. I immediately blocked his number. Later, I heard that my ex-in-laws were in chaos. Unable to pay their bills, they had to sell luxury goods and even the father-in-law's Mercedes to get by. But their spending habits didn't change, and they eventually had to sell their ancestral home. My ex-husband sent me emails asking for reconciliation and informing me about the situation, but I ignored them all. I also blocked him on X to cut off all contact. Meanwhile, I've been living a peaceful and comfortable life in my apartment. My savings are growing and I'm thinking of starting to invest soon.